Warm revolutionary greetings, Africans. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. I'm good, guys. I'm good, guys. Welcome to the platform, The Agenda. And we are talking Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool, right? His expulsion from the imperialist United States of America and his reactions. But what I'll be doing on this video, I'll be giving my own reactions, right? I'll be giving my own reactions to the expulsion and his return in the country and what he had to say, right? What actually give the broader picture for what is it that led to his expulsion, right? Okay. As you guys have seen, it was 2 weeks back, right? 2 weeks back, where the Secretary of the States, the Secretary of the State from the United States of America, wrote on Twitter, now known as X, right, that Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool is unwelcome in the United States of America, right? Therefore, effectively expelling Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool from the United States of America. Okay. And this is because, right, Ibrahim Rasool, in one of the public speeches that he made, he criticized the United States of America President Donald Trump, right, for being a white supremacist, right? A white supremacist, right? And we know since his return into office, right, that this is being Donald Trump. He has been, right, on this crusade. He has been on this crusade, right, to ensure that the white supremacy is on the rise, right, and ensure that it is reinstalled wherever it has been dislodged, right. He's working extra hard. To ensure that white supremacy is reinstalled in all the parts of the globe. Look at how he has targeted South Africa, right? Look at how he has targeted South Africa since his return to the White House, right? Of course, he's doing so using his proxies, right? The Afrikaner. Of course, not only being the Afrikaner, but you've got others who are English and even those who are black like me, right? Who are black like me. Unfortunately, those who are black like me, the likes of Musmamane and others. But of course, we know that in terms of their thinking, right? Their thinking is white. They might just be black like me, but their thinking and their behavior and conduct is white. It's got nothing to do with being black and all of that. So Donald Trump, look at how he has zoomed into South Africa. And he has made sure that he interferes. He interferes with the affairs of South Africa, therefore undermining the sovereignty of this country. So he's using his proxies, such as AfriForum, Solidarity, your Democratic Alliance. You mention all those anti-black organizations, right? Organizations that we know that actually their existence, their reason for existence, it is mainly to continue the suppression of the natives of this land and ensure that they propel white supremacy, right, and undermine black people, undermine African people. So Donald Trump, since his return to the White House, he has been criticizing South Africa, not just criticizing South Africa, but even giving executive orders to ensure that he strangles South Africa. He strangles South Africa economically and otherwise, right, to ensure that he drives fear, right. In other words, he's trying to ensure that he governs South Africa from Washington. Right, because now you're going to have a situation. He wants to have a situation whereby you've got an elected government in South Africa that was elected by the people of South Africa, but now that government is unable to act on its own policies and programs, right? That it promised the people, that it promised the electorate that the electorate should vote, so the government can advance these particular policies and programs. So now whatever policies and programs that government has, it now has to run them through. Right? It has to run them through the United States of America for approval and all of that. Right? It's so strange because these are the people being the United States of America who claim to be the godfathers of democracy and what democracy is supposed to be. But here they are interfering in the affairs of another sovereign country. Right? To ensure that white supremacy remains intact, to ensure that there's no transformation, to ensure that the voice of the majority, which is Africans in this country, which are black people, is undermined, right? Is undermined. That's what America is trying to achieve, right? So now, Ibrahim Rasool being the ambassador to the United States of America, then him having criticized Donald Trump and his administration, he has been expelled. And this is one of the acts to ensure, right? This is one of the acts to ensure that America drives fear down the spine of anyone who thinks of opposing America or American allies. And of course, we know South Africa, that as much they give this halabu that this is about the expropriation of land, and all, of course, we know that actually what the Cyril Ramaphosa signed into law and all of that is not even the expropriation of land without compensation that the majority of African people were asking for, right? But actually, they're just using that as a small screen. It is one of the issues, but one of the core issues, it is South Africa's case at the ICJ against apartheid Israel. Because we know that the apartheid Israel is a proxy of the United States of America, right? So that's actually the one of the key reasons that why Donald Trump is trying to strangle South Africa, right? And again, you look at that. Remember how they went to Libya, how America invaded Libya, they invaded Iraq and all of that. They always claim, actually now we can see they are beginning to lay the ground. They are beginning to lay the ground to invade South Africa. Because look at the pattern, how America invades these other countries. They start by making the false claims, right? They start by making false claims that there's a human rights violation and all of that, blah, 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 blah. And because they believe that they are preordained by God to ensure there's democracy everywhere, in every part of the world, what do? Then they must now come intervene. And what kind of intervention? There's going to be a military intervention and all of that. So they are trying to lay the basis for a military intervention in South Africa, right? Just like they did with other countries where they destabilized. And look at how they intervene in the countries. They never intervene, or the so-called intervention, which was an invasion. They never invade countries that do not possess the mineral resources that they need. So if South Africa knows we've got the platinum, we've got gold, we've got diamonds, all of these things, you've got coal and all of that. So of course, there's zone to South Africa. Not because they care about Afrikaner. Believe me, Donald Trump and his administration don't care about the Afrikaner, these settlers called Afrikaner from the Dutch and all of that. No, they don't care about them. But actually, they are trying to lay the ground and the basis to invade South Africa, so then they can be able to get their hands onto our own mineral resources and all of that. And this is an indictment again on the kind of the leadership that we have as a country. That we've got all these mineral resources. We're not even supposed to be poor and all of that. But we become beggars. How do we become beggars when we've been endowed with the kind of mineral resources that we have as a country and all of that? Why can't we have leadership that is brave like your Thomas Sankara and even now the Ibrahim Traore? Because America does not have what we have, right? I mean, even God where he is supposed to be disappointed in us. That despite him, right, blessing us with the type of mineral resources that we have, but we are unable to make use of those mineral resources to ensure that we are independent and we defend our own sovereignty. That when we trade with these so-called superpowers and all of that, we trade on equal footing. But the way we've become beggars, you'd swear that it is the Americans that possess these mineral resources that we don't have anything. But actually, it's the other way around. We are the ones who possess these mineral resources, but we've become beggars, right? Because we've got leaders who might be black like us, but they've been whitewashed and brainwashed, right? To think like white people, to always want to advance the interest of the white settler at the expense of the black people, right? Because in anywhere in part of the world, it does not even make sense that a country that is endowed of the type of mineral resources that South Africa is endowed with become beggars, right, to the United States of America and all of that, you see. So that's the thing, we have failed to build our industries. We have failed to industrialize using what we have, right? Using what we have to ensure that we become an independent in terms of the economical and all of that. So whenever we trade with people, we trade on equal footing, not as beggars and all of that. If we've had managed to do that, we wouldn't be a football to be kicked around by the likes of the United States of America and all of that. Right? So the point I'm making that actually the United States of America is making the expansion of Prime Rasul and all of that, but actually the main issue that they're trying to lay the basis to destabilize South Africa and then show that they get their hands into our mineral resources and all of that. Right? That's my view. I don't know what you guys, what your views. As always, I'm always interested to hear your views. Please comment in the comment section below. Please remember, guys, to click on the link here in the description. That will send you to our landing page where you will leave your email. So each time I publish a video, I can send the email directly to you. I can send the documents, books, interesting material for reading and all of that. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Siyabonga, Africa City.